this lesson, we will learn about pivot points and how they're used to transform 3D geometry. When working with 3D objects, we will often need to move, scale, or rotate them to fit the needs of our scenes. In addition, these transformations may need to be animated in order for the shot to be completed. A very important aspect of object transformations is the pivot point. The pivot point is the point from which the transformations occur. In this example, the pivot point is located at the center of our object. Any transformations we apply will use this pivot, so the object appears to rotate and scale around its center. If we need to apply a transformation based on a different point location, we can temporarily choose to transform our object using the world origin or another arbitrarily chosen point in 3D space. Depending on the software, we can change the pivot we use by changing our transform settings, using a temporary working pivot, or moving the pivot point itself. Let's look at another example. For this wheel rolling along the ground, having the pivot point at the center of the wheel makes sense and works visually. However, if we try to roll a cube along the ground, the importance of the pivot point becomes apparent. Rather than rolling from the center, the cube needs to rotate along the front edge. Once it is rolled over, it requires a new pivot point to continue along its path. In these cases, more complex solutions than simply moving the pivot point are required. So think about the objects that you create, how they need to move and interact, and this will give you a good idea of how to place your pivot points.